don't know if you guys heard in my last video that I had an issue with my crank sensor. So what was happening, guys, is that I would go around a curve, and like when I was hitting lift in a turn or something like that, or if it was like just the slightest sharpest, not even that sharp, just like a slight turn to the left, the lift would cut off at top end and I get a check engine light. It would work, but like in the middle of lift it would just cut off. So it came off as a cam sensor signal problem. Like I got a code for a cam sensor, I forgot what the number was, but it was sort of cam sensor code. So I ordered a cam sensor, I replaced it, I thought all was well, but it wasn't the actual cam sensor, it was actually my crank sensor that was giving me problems. So apparently my crank sensor, I believe the ground side of the crank sensor was rubbing on the serpentine belt. So it literally ripped through the ground of my crank sensor, and I was traveling like about at 80 miles an hour and the car turned off. I was on the highway, and the car just turned off on me. So when I got it home, I looked underneath the car and I saw that my crank sensor was a little frayed. So I changed it out, everything was good, popped it in, turned the car on, like very first crank it just fired up, so no problems. I'm like, cool. You know, I thought maybe, you know, you think the worst when you like, especially when you're driving that fast, like on the highway, and then all of a sudden it shuts off and then it won't come back on. I was like, okay, blew my motor, something stupid. Like that's just how my luck has been going lately. So it wasn't that, thank God. Like, car's driving, as you can see, it's still driving perfectly fine. Let me put on my seatbelt before you guys call me out. Alright, so cool, driving it all good, no problems. And then I was like, you know what, let me check, make sure the lift works. So it's not working and I don't know why. There's no code, the lift bolts are fine, guys. This is like a freshly built motor, like fresh, like there should not be a problem with lift bolts. So I, you know, just to make sure, I popped the valve cover off, and still no issues with my lift bolts. I took them out, they were intact, no broken bolts. So pause it. So yeah, so lift is not working. I don't know what the hell is going on, guys. My luck, the last, like, it's literally right before I'm about to tune this thing and actually make some decent power in this car is when all this crap is happening. Like, it never fails for me, man. Like, I'm about to have a nice quick car and then it gets taken from me. Like, it's really annoying. But anyway, so I want to see if any of you guys know what the heck might be going on. Remember, my lift is set to 5600, but I'll show you what it's doing. That way you guys can kind of see exactly how it's acting. Somebody says I have a bad ground, but if I had a bad ground, I'd get a check engine light. So this is what's going on. So remember, 5800 I think is my lift point. See what it does? It just stays there. So instead of engaging into lift, it just kind of gets stuck. And as you can see, guys, no check engine light, no nothing. Like, so I'm thinking, or I was thinking, it was mechanical. And I'm like, you know what, let me just pop the valve cover off. Maybe, I don't know, I got a bad luck and I broke a lift bolt. And nope, lift bolts are fine. Everything underneath the valve cover looks nice and fresh. I got all my cams, everything like that are nice. Like, I don't know what the heck is going on. Like, my lifters look fine. So I don't know if I'm having some sort of like oil gallery issue where it's not getting enough oil pressure to where it needs to go, But yeah, if anybody wants to give me some sort of insight or has been through this, that lift bolts are fine, computer's fine, no codes, your solenoids are fine, because those guys, I just replaced those solenoids. So if anybody has any idea of what it could be that's doing that, I'd greatly appreciate some insight on what the heck is going on. Suggested that maybe it jumped timing, but that's kind of almost impossible with a chain-driven type of car. And the chain tension, like when I popped the valve cover off, it was pretty tight. Give me 1 second. Alright, so this is a couple of days after the last pause in the video. Sorry guys. Since then I've tried a couple things. Somebody told me that maybe I should try grounding the oil pressure switch, just to pretty much eliminate the signal so that lift automatically comes on without that oil pressure signal. But I did that yesterday and it's still doing the same thing. So it wasn't a bad oil pressure switch. You know, like what I keep thinking about, guys, is that I changed that crank sensor, and possibly maybe the crank sensor, there's like some sort of signal issue. Maybe I just got a faulty crank sensor. Who knows? So I might go the route of like exchanging it for another one just to make sure that it's not a faulty crank sensor. Because I'm out of options here. Like the car's in timing, you know, it runs fine. It runs perfectly fine. It even feels nice. Like before it gets the lift, it feels perfect. So I'm really like, I'm lost of what's wrong here. The lift bolts are not broken. Like I pulled both of them out. I honestly don't know. So I'm gonna mess around with the cam sensor or the crank sensor again, just to see if I can find something wrong with them. Find something wrong with the crank sensor. I don't know, man. But anyways, update with the car. I got the fuel pump with the money that you guys helped and donated with. I was able to get the fuel pump, and it's here. So I got the fuel pump, and then just waiting on, I'm saving up on my own too, guys, to get the injectors. But I really appreciate you guys, man. You guys really came through, and I was able to purchase the fuel pump. So the fuel pump was like about $100 bucks. It was like $100. I didn't go with the one that Monkey Wrench Racing put out because honestly, guys, a guy messaged me. I think he's got a YouTube channel like XR Swap or something like that. He told me that the fuel pumps don't like straight bolt on to these cars, and Monkey Wrench Racing had them online for a while saying that they were a straight fit, and they weren't. Not for the 0506 Corolla XRS. So apparently the 0506 Corolla XRS had a different design for the fuel pump, or actually the fuel pump module, and it just doesn't slip in there. So honestly, every car guy usually has to modify their fuel pump anyway, so I just ordered a Walboro 450 for E85, and it was cheaper. I'm gonna have to modify my fuel pump module anyways, so I'm gonna do that, and call it a day. Like, you know, who cares if I have to break up the existing module? Like, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. So I bought the fuel pump. It's here. I just need to figure out this little bug that's like driving me nuts with the lift. And once I do that and I got my injectors, I can head to the dyno. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I love the messages you guys were leaving also with the donations. And I read all of them. Like, you guys are awesome with support and showing me love. That's really cool. So I got what I need for the pump. I just got to get the injectors and we're good to go. Honestly, guys, if I can't figure out this bug before I get to the dyno, I might just take it to the dyno anyways and try to fix it with Ruben, because Ruben's dealt with Corolla XRSs before. I called Ruben and asked him what he thinks about this, and he's like, he thinks it's a bad ground. He kind of sounded like he knew it was a bad ground, and he was like, oh, just bring it to the dyno, we'll figure it out. So I kind of appreciate that from him too, that he was just like, whatever, we'll figure it out, just bring it. So that's probably going to be another option, but being a mechanic, it really irks me that I can't figure out what the heck is going on here. I tested the solenoids work. I took out the lift screens look fine. You know, it's a freshly built motor, so I wasn't expecting this type of stuff to be bad, but the solenoids were original. So what I did is I purchased brand new solenoids, and I put those in. So it's like, now everything's new except for the oil switch, but the oil switch was bypassed and it still doesn't work. But usually when there's something wrong with a vehicle, guys, it's something that you manipulated or something that you touched, and that's why I'm thinking it has to be something with the crank sensor. So I'm gonna be messing around with that for the next couple of days to see if I can figure it out. If not, I'm just gonna buy another crank sensor, excuse me, and call it a day. Like, honestly, the crank sensor that I purchased is a Denso crank sensor. It's like a really good crank sensor. So I don't know, we'll see. It probably has something to do with it though, honestly. But anyways, I'll keep you guys posted and updated. If you guys have ever seen or that's happened to you and you got a suggestion, hit me up. If not, then we're gonna go through this together. Alright, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is kind of an update slash look at my problems video. but yeah, so that's what I'm going through right now. That's why I haven't really posted a video lately, but that's what's up. And I'll show you the valve cover off and me cranking it, so you guys can see what that looks like right here at the end of the video. Alright guys, bye. Alright guys, peace out.